Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third episode of Data AI by Wits. I'm hoping that you're liking the first two episodes. Thank you for all the love that you've been giving them. In the third episode, we are going to learn about deep learning. So let's get started. So, deep learning is a subset of machine learning methods based on artificial neural networks with representation learning. The adjective deep refers to the use of multiple layers in the network. Methods can be either supervised, semi supervised, or unsupervised. Just a very quick recap we have learned about supervised, semi supervised, and unsupervised. We've also learned about reinforcement learning in the last video that we did on introduction to machine learning. If you don't remember, make sure you check that out before we proceed further. So now, what do we mean when we say deep learning? So the basic definition that goes is that it is a subset of machine learning. We did intro to machine learning last time. So it is like a subset of machine learning which mainly focuses on neural networks with representation learning. We are going to be breaking down deep learning into a smaller set of videos, and today we're just going to focus on introduction to deep learning and what are neural networks. And why is it called deep? As the definition says, it refers to the use of multiple layers in the network. Now, what are these layers? All of that we are going to check out further. So this is a very simple diagram. It's like an umbrella under an umbrella under an umbrella term. So when we say artificial intelligence, it is like the bigger umbrella that nests machine learning, that nests deep learning, and all of this, like all three of these, are part of data analytics and data science. So it's not like deep learning is different from machine learning, and machine learning is different from artificial intelligence, or deep learning is different from artificial intelligence. No, it's like those Russian dolls that we have, that is like one inside the other, inside the other, inside the other. So basically, it's like that. Like deep learning is a part of machine learning is a part of artificial intelligence. So where all do we use deep learning? We use deep learning for speech recognition. When I say speech recognition, it should also click to you that you've been learning about, fake audio being made. If I'm talking about image processing, it should take you to deep fakes. If I'm talking about recommendation systems, it should clearly hit that, if YouTube is recommending you some videos or Netflix is recommending you some series about that. Bioinformatics, pretty much like you do a biometric check while entering your office. So yeah, things like that, and so many more use cases for deep learning. Now, what is deep learning? Again, we'll go through this. It is a subset of, it's a subfield of machine learning that closely tries to mimic the human brain working using neurons. These techniques focus on building artificial neural networks using several hidden layers. So, if I'm pretty sure all of us have studied biology or are going to, if you're really young and watching this video, we have a lot of neurons in our brain, like in our nervous system. We can see that in the graph here. So a neuron has axons, it has dendrites, it has nucleus. And what we try to do with the neural network is we somewhere make the machine mimic how a neuron works. Now, what do we mean when we say mimic? So we have a lot of dendrites, if you can see. And in the same way, we tend to put a lot of layers into our neural network. So sort of make it function in a very similar way. That is how we try to mimic. Now, we'll just go through a quick introduction to neural networks before we dive deep into types of neural networks in the next video. Spoiler alert. So in a neural network, we have an input layer, then we have the first layer, then we have subsequent hidden layers, and then we have an output layer. So the hidden layers, and they sort of take the input from the input layer. As you can see, they are connected. And then we could have multiple hidden layers. We could have one hidden layer, but of course, one too many. So yeah, we can have multiple hidden layers, and all of those hidden layers sort of process the input data using different functions. that we'll be learning ahead. And then, based on those functions, they transform the input data and give us the desired output or the output that it spins out. If it's not desired, we can do the accuracy check. So, what are the neural network terminologies? We'll quickly do these. So, one is a fully connected, which means all nodes in one layer like are connected to all nodes in the other layer. So, if you can see here in the diagram that we had before, all nodes in this layer are connected to all other nodes in this layer. That is what we mean by a fully connected network. Then what do we mean by weights? So weights are numbers assigned to each connection. So like if there is a line going from the input layer to the first hidden layer, the line usually has a weight. It is the weights we consider them when we are doing the math behind transforming the input to give the output. What is a forward pass? So we pass the input forward through the network, like it goes from one layer to the next layer to the next layer to the output layer. In neural networks, we also do back propagation. So we propagate the loss backwards. So what do we mean when we say back propagation? We propagate the loss backwards through the network to update the weights. Now, how do we update the weights? So based on whatever output that we get, agar wo desired output, say, let's say the difference is a lot more. If we do an OLS, if it's a linear regression, we do an OLS and we see that the difference or the error rate is too high. We do a backward propagation wherein based on the difference that we get, we try to update the weights so that the math that is done again gives us a better result. In the activation function, now what is an activation function? So activation function is just math. We transform the input to the output, we consider the weights that are given, and based on that, we churn out the output for the activation function.